Before we add thickness to these, let's go ahead and take this one and mirror it over and connect it on top the way they have it here. So with this selected in object mode, I'll go ahead and move it to the 3D cursor. I'll move the origin to 3D cursor because the cursor is here in the center of the grid. And then I'll come down here and let's go to the modifiers panel, add modifier and mirror. Now it's way down here, which tells me that the rotation needs to apply. So I'll press Control A and apply the rotation. There it is over there. Okay. Also, let's go ahead and turn on clipping here. And then let's grab this edge right here, this one, and we'll extrude it toward the center so they'll clip together. Let's go back to that front view, and I'll go ahead and turn on the edit cage here with this button here, and so we can see it on the other side. And then I'll just hit E, and let's extrude over, and then I'll grab this and just drag it straight in like that. So now they're clipped together. I can't pull them apart or across the the y-axis there. So that's good. We've got that in place. Now let's begin adding thickness to these. So I'll take this one and let's twirl that up and add a solidify modifier here. We're not getting much thickness there, so I think we need to apply the scale. Let's try that. Control A, apply the scale. Yep, sure enough, that gives us some thickness. And then let's do that with this one here. Let's go ahead and add a solidify modifier here. Yeah, let's go ahead and click even thickness and apply that scale again. Control A, scale. There we go. And I don't think I gave it even thickness. There we go. Let's turn that on just in case. And let's do the same with this. Add modifier, solidify, even thickness. And it looks like I need to apply the scale. Control A, scale. There we go. Okay, so this one looks like it could come out just a little bit farther. I'll grab this and move it out like that, just so we don't overlap too much. This one here, it looks like maybe I could grab that edge in there. You can kind of see it there. Maybe move it down just a bit so it's more in line with this here. You see how it's kind of at the wrong angle? So I'll hit G and just move this down. Well, that's the wrong edge, or it isn't enough of the edge, I guess I should say. So I'll press Shift and click and select that whole edge there. There we go. Now if we hit G and drag down, there we go. We can kind of line it up with the angle of that top piece there. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have so far. Yeah, so we've got those pieces in and the thickness applied. Let's go ahead and mirror these over. So for this one, let's move that object origin to the 3D cursor. And then let's come over here and click Add Modifier Mirror. Once again, we've got a problem down here. Let's press Control A and apply the rotation. Let's do that again over here. Add mirror. And let's also press Control A, apply the rotation. And and look at what I've done here. I didn't move the origin to the center of the grid now. So let's go ahead and go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to 3D Cursor. And that pops that over there. Okay. That's got those in there. We've also got a piece in the back, it looks like, that just connects the two. I wonder if we could extrude this piece here to connect the back. What if we tried that? If we took, say, this edge and extruded it in, would that do it? Let's give it a try. I will go to the front view. Go to wireframe, and let's make sure clipping is turned on. It is not, so let's turn that on. And then if I hit E and hit the Enter key, or click, and just drag in the X, like that, until they clip together. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Since I've got that edge there, it's not quite straight. I could maybe move it in or out to to try and flatten that just a bit like that. Yeah, so that gives it a little smoother effect there. And also I could apply the Shade Smooth tool to that, and I may in the future, but I don't think I need to right now. So how are we doing here? I think we're doing okay. There's an interesting part right here, though. Let me press Control Spacebar and make this bigger. And there's like an indentation here, right in here. You can see, and it's got this angled piece right there. I think that's kind of nice. And it looks like there's one here too. So I think that's an opportunity to use a tool that we haven't used yet. Let's press Control Spacebar to go back, and let's try and get this piece right there, that indentation, that inset. Now, we may not actually use the inset tool on this because we have this mirrored. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if I select, say, this face here, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the scale to this, Control A scale, because I don't recall if I had yet or not. And remember when we were having a problem with these two sides extruding individually, and the way we solved that was to turn on clipping so that it would extrude as all one piece, right? As all one region. So if we use the inset tool here to get this kind of an inset, watch what happens. I hit I and inset this, and look at that. I get those two pieces again. It isn't staying together even though I have the clipping turned on. So if we undo this, Control Z, right, and go back to here, now what let's do is try it again with extrude. If I hit E and then hit the S key and scale in, it does stay together as all one piece, right? So even though we turned on clipping, the inset tool didn't give us quite what we wanted. So I'm going to hit S and X and kind of scale in just a bit like that. All right, so there we have that region that we can now extrude down like this, E, and I'm just going to drag straight down in the Z axis like that, just a little bit, right? So there we have that. Now we need to get this angle here, this, what would you call it? It's a bevel, a chamfer, an angle, whatever. I don't know exactly what to call it, but what we're going to use to create it is the bevel tool. So if we tab into edit mode and go to edge mode, what I want to do is select these edges right here and one right here. These edges right there. And what I want to do is bevel those edges. Let's try this. With those two selected, I'm going to press Control E to bring up the Edges menu. And you can see here, Bevel Edges. Now, it too has its own shortcut key. It's Control B. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to press Control B, and then I'm going to move the mouse just a bit and pull out like this. So there we go. Now we've got that edge there. I'll click, and we get this bevel settings tool over here, and we can increase the number of segments if we want. I don't think we need to for this, but just for demonstration purposes here, I will click these, and you can see how we can add the edges and create that curve. So I think I did that earlier just to show what we might do later on after we've already blocked all of these in. But I think this tool is a good one to create these angles here on this inset. I'll tab back into object mode, and there we go. Now we have those pieces in there. It seems like this back edge is a lot thinner than that front edge. So what I'm going to do is tab back into edit mode and go to face mode and select that face there. And I'm just going to drag back just a little bit like that. There we go. All right, we're coming along. I think what I'd like to do in the next video is work on this front panel, this back extrusion box kind of thing here, and also this turntable part right here. I think this is where the turret turns. There's kind of a circular piece underneath here. So I want to work on that as well.